Hi there. Right, we've got something else special today. Got my entire collection of streamlined steam engines out. I decided to put them on parade and show everybody, just in case you'd lost track of what exactly I had. There's one missing, which is up in the works at the moment. We're just trying to work out how to get it to accept a larger radius. Well, it just doesn't like curves too much at the moment, and trying to work out whether it's a sort of problem of the pilot being too low or whatever. Anyway, that would look more or less like this one, but with a sort of bullet nose like these two. Anyway, so let's start with, first of all, Mallard. Yeah, that's obviously a British engine. This is made by Hornby, and this is a special edition one with gold-plated parts that I must have done a review of at some point. It's a lovely runner. It really does run very well. This one is the Torrington West Country Bullied Pacific for the Southern Railway. This one I've decorated for the Golden Arrow train, which has a little arrow along the side, the Golden Arrow emblem at the front, and then British and French flags and destination discs and so on. So yeah, that's what I've done to that one. This is that's also by Hornby. This one's, all these four are by Hornby. This one is the Streamlined Coronation class. This one's the Duchess of Gloucester. These were built in the 30s, and that one's a blue version of the same one. Only one of those now exists, I think. There's one of those at York, which I've seen a couple of times. It's a really, really amazing engine. So if you're there, do watch out for it. This one, to my knowledge, there are none of these, but there is one of these that used to look like this. They took all the streamlining off after the war. This one's the Princess Alexandra. Here, this is the American GS4 Daylight locomotive. As you can see, it says Daylight right there on the side. Yes, there we are. And that is a Southern Pacific engine. It says Southern Pacific on the side there. Used to pull the famous Daylight train, which are in these amazing sort of red and orange colours. Also, they use this engine here. Oh, excuse me, hiccuped. So yeah, that's quite a famous one. There is one of these still around. Fortunately, I think it still gets run every so often. That one right there, that's my favourite one. This is the Dreyfuss Streamline, New York Central 20th Century Limited Hudson. Streamlined by the designer of the kind of metal shroud, Henry Dreyfuss, who I don't know much about, but I know he was some sort of industrial designer. Raymond Loewy, who also designed the paint scheme of these Northern Pacific engines. He also worked for the Pennsylvania Railroad, the New York Central's competing railroad at the same time, so they did, both he and Dreyfuss did a lot of streamlined work on various things, cars and trains and so on, but this, I think, was by far the best of any of it, and certainly the kind of classic one, in this sort of, it's great the bullet nose kind of thing, but this kind of crest coming over the front really does add a sort of Art Deco feel to it. I'm told there's a story that apparently he was on a train and there was or that he was either on a train or he was in some sort of restaurant which had a armchair which had, well, basically imagine that as the arm, and then it had this great crest coming down over the front. And he said that he found that rather interesting, and he got the idea from that to put this kind of crest over the front of the engine, something that continues down from the roof over the front. So yeah, that's my favourite locomotive. I've just got that working again. There's a video on that. This one is the Santa Fe Blue Goose, the only locomotive of its type. I think there are about 10 of those, probably about 4 of those. Don't know how many of those. I really have no idea. Countless hundreds of those. They were ubiquitous. They were all over the place. and also lots and lots of those, probably about 50 of each of those, quite, really quite a lot. And these stayed streamlined all their entire lives. They never got the streamlining taken off. So yes, those were really quite eye-catching. And there's still 6 left, I'm told, 4 of which can actually work. But there was only one of those. They only did it the one time, for whatever reason. It's a very attractive paint scheme as well, and it was, to my knowledge, the only time they applied this paint scheme to anything. Anyway, it was a very, very famous engine. Both of these two are Rivarossi, which is an Italian manufacturer who I think are still making stuff, but these models aren't available new anymore. You can only get these second hand, or very expensive on eBay at auctions. So I was very glad to have got these. That one is made by Bachmann Plus, I think, a very old model, and it's beginning to show a bit of wear. But yes, so there we are. Our future plans include getting the Milwaukee Road Hiawatha F7 Hudson, which is, by the way, this. And perhaps I might even buy one of these, which isn't sort of so nice looking. I'll buy a kind of plain looking one of those and streamline it myself, using sort of brass casing to sort of build up the streamlining effect. Not look too much like that, but in this paint scheme for this train, because I don't have. I thought it would be fun to build one. Just as a kind of little project. So, all the best. See you next time.